Welcome to the Cryptosphere. This is Cryptogenic coming at you. Today is February 8th, and Bitcoin has officially achieved an all-time high. We have pressed above the all-time high of 42,000, and now we are at $46,522.60 at this very moment. What I want to talk to you about today is our tendency to think too episodically about cryptocurrencies in terms of price action. We tend to get way too excited when things go up, and we tend to become way too alarmed when things go down. The volatility overwhelms our minds and hearts, and that's why we get so captivated by this stuff, simply because we don't understand macro trends. We're simply captivated by short-term price action. So let's look at this Bitcoin chart for a second to see what I mean. I put this line here. This line is at the all-time high, right? Right about 42,000, okay? So we broke above that line, and now it seems to be using that line as support. So which direction is Bitcoin going? Is it going to continue to go up, or is it going to come down again? Is it going to come back down and test this line? Is it going to break beneath this line? Is it going to keep going up to about 56,000? Well, there's a couple things we can see. Down here, we can see that the MACDs are bullish. Okay, that looks good. However, up here, the RSI is overbought, way overbought. Okay, so it's going to have to correct, the RSI says. And then if we look at these moving averages, it's way beyond the moving averages. At some point, it's going to have to come down and check in, probably with this blue line here, which is the 200-day moving average. So this price action is going to be pulling these MAs up towards it, and it's also going to be pulling the price action down towards the MAs. However, that doesn't mean that it can't go higher before it comes back down. So what's going to happen with Bitcoin in the short term? Is it going to come back and touch 42? Is it going to come back down to 4,000? Is it going to keep breaking up towards 50, 55, 57,000? You know what? It can do any of those. And what I want to say to you today is that it doesn't really matter. We've got to get short-term price action out of our minds and hearts. And what I find is that the majority of us who ask questions about short-term price action are not day trading anyway, so why do we even care? Now look at this chart. This is a Bitcoin monthly logarithmic chart that goes all the way back to March of 2013. And in March of 2013, Bitcoin entered into this trend in between these two trend lines, and it's been in this bullish trend since March of 2013. If Bitcoin were to keep going up following this trend here, somewhere around January 2022, we would be touching about $256,938. And if it followed this trend, it would touch it and then start making its way down towards $121,403. Now, is this a crystal ball? Is it going to do exactly that? Nah, I honestly don't know. But what I can say is that if we look at this chart instead of looking at this chart, we can see something very clear here is going up. Does that mean it can't correct back to 20,000? Nope, it can definitely correct back to 20,000, but it's going up, meaning it's still in this bullish progression. And as long as it is in this bullish progression, if it were to break south out of here, that would start a new trend. And then we would have to gather some information to determine which direction it's going. So it's much better to look at long-term trends than short-term price action, because this stuff is so volatile that the short-term price action can scare the mess out of you. So I got a comment a couple days ago from someone who is in Theta, apparently Theta Token, and was really concerned. And he was saying, you know, Theta Token is crashing. It's dropping fast. It's falling fast. I hope it recovers. And that's what it feels like, you know, when you're new to the crypto game. I remember when I first bought Bitcoin, I bought my first Bitcoin in 2017 for $4,000 or $4,200, something like that. And the next morning I woke up and it was $3,200. And I freaked out. I mean, I freaked out. 25% of my investment gone overnight. That's what it felt like. But in actuality, if I would have seen this chart and gone back to, what was it? September 2017, you see this drop right there? That's all it was. This literally, I freaked out over this one little red candle here. Had I seen this progression and seen, oh, it's going up, there's no reason to freak out. It's just short-term price action. But look at Theta Token. Just look at what it's doing here. As long as it continues to honor this bullish progression, this set of trend lines, this trend that it's in, as long as it continues in this trend, even if it doesn't break out of this trend, it's heading up to like $7.50 before it even has to break out of this trend. And then, I mean, think about it. Look, if I just keep this line going, and then if I extend this line, I mean, literally, Theta Token can stay in this trend all the way up to $10. At a certain point, it's going to maybe even $14. At a certain point, it has to break out. If it breaks out bearish, then it's going to go down quite a ways. If it broke out bullish tonight, like if we closed a weekly candle above this line here, a measured move would take us up to almost $20. So because of that, if you see this on the macro perspective, then you can understand, this type of pullback, let's say it did come down here and touch this line, that's called a buying opportunity. Okay? That's called a buying opportunity. Now, I'm looking at Litecoin here because I really think that Litecoin is setting itself up. You see how it's using this line as support, this line is resistance right now, and it keeps bumping into this line. This line goes all the way back to March of 2018. Once we capitulated beneath that line, we've bumped up against this line once, twice, and now this is our third series of attempts. And we keep, this time it's not just touching it and moving on. We keep coming back and touching it and touching it and touching it and touching it and touching it. And every time we touch this line, it gets weaker. So I think Litecoin's getting ready to break above this line, and a solid weekly close above this line would start us into a new trend that I believe will take us up to about $1,300. So is Litecoin bullish? BCH is doing the same thing. If we close above this line, we're going up to $3,000. Dogecoin. I know there's so much. I actually made this chart a couple days ago and didn't get to show it to you in the video. And I put this target here while this was still beneath this line. And then I wrote this note: a break above this triangle should take us up to 14 cents. And sure enough, we've broken above this triangle. As long as we maintain, as long as we stay above this triangle and we confirm that this is now support, it should take us up to 14 cents. So. And then this is the last one I'll show you tonight, because this one, when I did this, it blew me away. I had to check it several times to see did I do something wrong. But using the same logarithmic logic, look at XRP. If it breaks out of this triangle, we're headed towards $180. Not immediately. I think this is between now and November. If we break south out of this triangle, we're going down to like 4 cents. So, I mean, you want to talk about bullish? Is this crazy? You know, it's interesting that a lot of people say this is crazy, to think that something that's now 47 cents could trade for $180. Does that sound crazy to you? Is it utterly ridiculous? Let me show you something. Look at this asset here. Price action at 44 cents. It actually went down a little further, about 42 cents. And this is on October 19th, 2015. You know what this asset is? Take a wild guess. What is this asset? 2015, which is like 5 years ago, 5 years and a couple months ago. This particular asset, you could buy it for 44 cents. This is Ethereum. Yeah, that's right, Ethereum. And if you could go back to October of 2015 when they were buying Ethereum for 44 cents and tell them in a few years, in about 5.5 years, Ethereum is going to be going for $1,700 and everyone's going to be expecting it to hit 5,000. They would have told you were nuts. They would have told you were out of your mind. But yet, here we are today buying Ethereum for $1,700, and people are saying, better buy it now because it's going to go to 5,000, it's going to go to 9,000, it's going to go to 15,000. But yet, if I show you this chart and I show you a $180 XRP, and today it's 48 cents, everybody says you're crazy. Really? Is it crazy? Ethereum today is $1,744. And you could have got it for 44 cents. Forget about short-term price action. Stop day trading. I mean, unless you're a master of technical analysis and have a strike rate of more than 50%, stop day trading. Think long-term. Stop thinking about episodes and think about seasons. And if you do that, you'll have an easier time sleeping in peace every night, waking in joy every morning, and walking in love every day. And with that, this is Cryptogenic, signing out.